Hello guys and welcome back to another game development tutorial. So, we have almost finished everything in this game. So, all we need to do is make a menu, a windscreen, and I think we're good for posting the game. Of course, you will have to make waves on your own, or else the game won't be interesting at all. Yeah, so today we are going to make the main menu. So let's go into our scenes folder, open that up, and I just want to double click on the main menu scene. Then what I want to do, I want to duplicate it, so Control D, Command D if you're on a Mac. I want to right click on it, rename, oh nope, not delete. I want to rename it to main menu. Press enter, and make sure that you're actually on the main menu scene. So I'm just going to double click on that. And just in case, if you're still not sure that you're on the main menu scene, up here it should say the scene name. So now let's begin. So we can get rid of the enemy spawner. The game manager. Oh, let's not get rid of the game manager. Let's not get rid of UI. So let's go under the UI, under main canvas. I want to delete pause menu, and I want to delete shop menu and money text. Good. Okay, so now for our main menu, I want the title screen to be here, some play button, quit button, and then in the background I want the player that you can still control and shoot with. So yeah. So we already have the moving and shooting, so that is good. You will get some null reference exceptions, but that is okay because we just deleted a bunch of stuff. It won't actually affect the game. So yeah. Now let's just continue. So now under our main canvas, I want to right click, create UI, and I want to create a panel. And I just want to make the background black. So drag the little circle all the way to that corner. And I think I want to set the alpha maybe 150. So now that is all good. And I want to rename the panel to background. Good. Okay, so now I want to right click under main canvas, create empty, and I'll call this main. And the last thing that I want to do is this empty object for this rect transform. You'll see this little box right here with the four red lines intersecting with each other. I just want to click on that, hold down Alt, and click this corner button right here with the blue lines that expand outward. And there we go. Okay, so what that did, now we can resize the canvas, and this this empty object will always be the canvas's size. So now we can just drag the background under the main, and so we can now create some buttons and some text. So I just want to right click under main, create UI, and I want to create a button. So I'm just going to rename this button to play button. And then what I want to do, I'm going to go into the scene view, go into the 2D view. I just want to expand this button to about that size. And that looks good. So now what I want to do, I want to make this button actually look somewhat good. So for the navigation, I do not want to set this to automatic. I want to set this to none. Then for the normal color, I want to drag the A all the way to 0. For the highlighted color, I want to set the A value to maybe 30. And for the pressed color, I want to set the A value to maybe 50. That should be good. So now if we just press play, and if we hover over this button and click it, it'll actually look decent. So now, I want to make this text actually look good. So I'm going to go under the button, select the text, and instead of the texting button, I want to say play. And I want to change the text color to white. And then I'll set the font size to maybe 80. Just like that. So now, we just press play. The play button actually looks good. What do you know? And then, I want to just duplicate this play button. So duplicate. I want to drag it down. And I want to change the name to quit button. I want to open this quit button, select the text, and I want the text to say quit. So I'm going to drag the button down a little bit more, just like that. And I also want to shrink the button a little bit. So if I just select one side, hold Alt, and drag in, I can drag in both sides at the same time. So yeah, now if we just press play, we have a play button and a quit button. Just like that. Perfect. And the background, you can still move and shoot. So then, what I want to do, I think I actually want these buttons on the side. So what I will do, I'll shift select them. So select one, hold down shift, then select the other button to select them both. Then I try to drag them over to the side, just like that. Okay. So now, I want to make one more object. So right click under main, select the UI, and I want to make a text icon. So, I'll rename this text to title. I'll set the color to white. And I'll set the text. So this is just the name of the game. Let's call it Space Shooter. Or whatever you want. And then I want to expand this text just like that to about right there. And then I want to set the font size to maybe 120, and I think I want to drag this text over just a little bit like that. That looks good. I want this to be more noticeable, so I'll set the font style from normal to bold, and just like that, we have the font bolded. So now if we press play, the menu looks a lot better, but you'll notice that none of the buttons actually work. That's a bit of a problem. But one thing before we do that, I'll go to File, Build Settings, I'll press Add Open Scene, and I want to drag the main menu on top of the main scene. So how this works, it works so the first scene that you drag, so the first scene on top that you drag will play out first, and then the next scene, and then the next scene, and then the next scene, and so on. So I'm just going to drag the title to about right there. And now we can actually make these buttons work. So let's go into our game manager. That is where we'll be making our functions. And I want to double click on the game manager script. Okay, it is opening. And there we go. I'm just going to close this region right here. So on line 179 for me, I will click this little minus button to close the region. Okay, so we have made buttons before, so this should not be anything new. So, I want to create a new public void, and I'll call this play button. Finish that off with the curly brackets. Then I want to create one more public function, so public void quit button. And you'll notice that I call them voids and functions. They're the same thing, but in two different languages. Function is used more often. But void, because C# has voids and not functions. But let's just continue. So the quit button, that is easier to do. So we will do that one first. So all we have to say for the quit button is application.quit. And that's it. So now, whenever we press this button, it will quit the game. In the editor, in Unity editor, it won't actually do anything unless we build the game, which I'll show you how to do to make sure that the quit button is working. But for now, to make sure that we have the button hooked up correctly, I'll just say print quit game. Just to make sure that the button's actually working. And then we can move on to our play button. So what I want this to say, we already have a quit button. Okay, that's nice. We can delete this function. Because we already have a quit function. Okay, that's actually very nice. Then, for public void play button, it's like how I did it with this restart button, except we actually want to set a build index instead of getting the active build index. So that's also very easy to do. It's just one line of code. We can just say scene_manager.load_scene, scene_manager.getActiveScene.buildIndex +1. So it loads the scene right after the main menu, which is our game. And that's it. So now, if we go back into Unity, let this compile. There we go. So now we can just assign the onClick event function to our game manager. So we can do that if we just select our play button first, scroll all the way down, and we just want to hit this plus sign on the onClick event. For our object, I want to drag in our game manager. For our function, I want to click game manager, no function, then hover over game manager, and I want to select play button. Then we want to do the same thing with our quit button. So select the quit button, press the plus sign, drag the game manager for the object, click on no function, hover over game manager, and I want to select quit button. Then I want to do the button hovering noise really quick. So I'll just do the same thing with the play button. So press add component. Hold on, there we go. Add component. Search up event trigger. I want to add a new event type. Pointer enter. I want to add one more new event type, and that'll be pointer click. We can click both those plus signs, drag the game manager for both of those objects. On pointer enter, select game manager, and let's see, what do we call it? Button select. Then for the on pointer click, game manager, and pointer click, or button click. Then we can do the same thing with the quit button. So a quick way of doing that without having to rewrite all of this, we can just right click on the event trigger name, press copy component, then go to our quit button, press this little gear icon right here, press paste component as new. And there we go. So now, if we just press play, if we play, we'll go to our scene, and if we press quit, it will print quit. And there we go. One thing before we can continue on. So this is if you don't have autocorrect with Visual Studio. So right now, if I write Scene Manager, I'll have all of these list options right here. And if you don't have that, I'll show you how to fix that with a video in the description. So if you just follow that step, you should have autocorrect. So the last thing that we have to do, we have to go into our Game Manager, double click on the Game Manager script, and I believe we still need a menu option for a main scene. Actually, we might be good. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so that's it for this video. Next time we'll make a windscreen, and then we will hopefully publish it at this game. So I hope you have enjoyed. I have enjoyed making this game. We are almost done. So if you just stick around for maybe 2 more episodes, we will post this game. And that is it. I hope you have enjoyed, and see you in the next video. Bye, guys.